why it's called interpretation. That's why we got to go to the court and they be like, well, what is this supposed to mean? Right. So I'm like, girl, you don't even know what you're talking about when it comes to the article. That's not what this says. I didn't read the contract.
Yeah.
Bar for bar, word for word, looked up stuff I wasn't sure about. And I was like, yeah, that's not what this say. This is a standard contract for some work like this. And you're taking it out of context because you don't know what you're talking about and you're trying to build a story. Whole time, no, first off, don't pocket watch because you're out of line for that. One, as a white woman, you don't have no business asking me who paying me, what, when, or why. And two, you don't got no business thinking you putting my business on the streets. You're out of line for that. And then you don't know what you're talking about. Then you going 10 toes down. But let's not forget that your first article you wrote about Chorus was that they wasn't paying the creators.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Her first article that she wrote was like, oh, well, Chorus is taking advantage of these creators. It's creators on here who don't even know that they're representing Chorus.
When did she write that article?
This article came out, I want to say in like April.
Okay, so it was still Wired.
It was not Wired. It wasn't Wired.
She wasn't on Wired. She was in another.
I think she may have did it independent. I don't even remember per se. So okay. I think this one she had just jumped another ship. But yeah, so anyways, I know she put it out back in April. And that was the conversation. Liz talked to her then. It was like, that's not what's happening. We're trying to fundraise right now. You know what I mean? We're actually trying to get the Chorus name out there for that. You feel me? So, actually help us out if you can. So more people can know about it and we can get more invested, more funding.
Yeah.
Now the new article talking about they taking dark money.
So you think there's a motivation behind that?
Yeah, she a hater and she's a liar. And you just need to admit to the people that you are a right winger.
Oh, really? You think so?
Oh, you ain't seen her pictures? The people she been taking pictures with?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I didn't know that. I'm not, I'm not.
She's very much comfortable with right-wing influencers and very favorable. If you look at the language that she uses when she talks about their side and the money they're getting and what they're doing in comparison to us, if you look at how she talked to the white people in the comment section that she was responding to, as opposed to how she approached us.
So I think I found the article Inside the Democrats' Struggle to Win Over Creators, April 24th, 2025, written by Taylor Lorenz.
Right. Is it on a news site?
Yeah, it's on userbag.co.
Okay, so that was another site before Wire.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. It is important because let's be clear, when it comes to the Republicans and the Democrats, the Democratic Party is getting their ass kicked.
Okay.
And do you agree?
I don't know.
You don't agree? So, okay, I'll tell you what I mean by I think they're getting their ass kicked.
Okay.
What I mean is that when you look at the Republican Party, the institutions that they acquire, so they're acquiring platforms. They're not only hiring creators. They're not creating that and hiring creators. They're acquiring X. They're building True Social. They've gotten Zuckerberg on the side of what's going on. And so they're actually acquiring platforms where if you have a liberal agenda or you are part of the Democratic Party, we don't own any platforms, right? If you are not far right, you know what I'm saying, and understand that. And again, I'm a person that accepts the understanding to agree to disagree on either party.
Right.
But when one party's buying up platforms and then they're populating those platforms with content creators that often say lies, like that it is propaganda and not even the truth. And that's what I thought was interesting about that article because
we're arguing about $8,000. Right. That's the most light-skinned dark money I've ever heard of in my life. Like, it's giving albino.
Oh my God. I know, I understand what you're saying. $8,000. Yeah, when
$8,000.
Some of these platforms are raised getting paid like 95 million, 85 million a year. Like these platforms to pay creators to make content, 85 million a year.
We didn't talk about the creators though during the election that was getting millions of dollars from Russia, has set up that sham businesses, in like Tennessee or something like that, and they was getting millions.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
tell them.
But we talking about $8,000. So we didn't look at when the right wing creators were getting paid millions of dollars. They had the emails, and the creators came out afterwards and was like, "Oh, we didn't know," but you took their money.
Wow, that's it. Well, okay.
Fuck that to you. Why are we talking about $8,000? That's dark money.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm looking at it right now.
Boom.
Department of Justice alleges that Russia funded U.S. media company linked to White Ring social media stars. This is on
Boom. 3
CNN.
of them, bro, and bro.
Yeah, Dave Rubin,
Boom.
Benny Johnson,
Boom.
and Tim Pool.
Boom.
Yo,
Let's talk about that. That's the dark money.
true.
Tenet
Truthfully.
Media, yeah. They're saying the opening is the unnamed Tennessee-based company that the Justice Department alleges was being funded by Russia operatives working as part of a Kremlin-orchestrated influence operation targeting the 2024 U.S. election is Tenet Media, which is linked to White Ring commentators with millions of subscribers on YouTube and other social media platforms, according to a U.S. official briefed on the matter.
I did a whole video on that when it went down.
Yeah, this was written in
This was last year.
Thursday, September 5th, 2025. So right before the election.
Then let's say it's also more about if Taylor's writing an article about you guys taking money, but it's also what's being communicated is the truth or not. Yeah. I think that's the bigger issue. Yeah. If you guys are getting paid to create content is one thing, but if one group is making propaganda and the other group is just telling the truth, and isn't that more important?
Well, that's the thing. So that's why I said she need to just go ahead and admit what side of the fence she on, because that's the reality. At the end of the day, right? Like, you can't pay me to say nothing that I'm not gonna say. Matter of fact, if you even see how I negotiate when I do have a contract, I probably spend more time arguing with them about I'm not finna say that, or I said something a certain way and they be like, oh, well, can you switch it up? No, I can't. Right. Because you're not finna tell me what to say. Period. If I rock with it, whatever it is, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the research and I'm gonna make sure that I'm ethical about what I'm putting out. Because at the end of the day, my entire goal is to make sure that my community can be included in the conversations, at the very least, right? At least you could go to the block and have a conversation with your homeboy that Big Bank P got America bent, right? And we might have to squabble up next week because he done ran up on Poland, dropped some stuff on Poland, and now NATO is like, who the who, what's good, right? Exactly. I want you to be able to have that conversation because it's important. It makes a difference in our everyday life. You can't pay me to sit here and lie to these people.
Yeah.
For what? So you sat here and tried to discredit us and mess up our credibility. We didn't build these platforms brick by brick, day by day, research by research, grind by grind. We got kids, family members, and you playing with my name over $8,000 that I'm not getting.
I want to follow up on that. Do you think this has exposed a bigger issue in how journalism and media interact with creators, especially Black creators?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we saw that issue at the DNC last year. Like, we realized.
What do you mean? Explain.
Yeah, so it was a lot of tension between creators, right, and then like actual journalists. And I guess like it came off like some of the journalists felt like we was in their lane and we was getting special treatment, you know what I mean, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, y'all have a specific, like, that's y'all got to take an oath, you got to go to school, you got to have training for that. I'm not a journalist, you know what I mean? I'm an attorney, but it was a lot of friction. And I've noticed now, like, you have, journalists like Joy-Ann Reid, for example, and Don Lemon, right, who have like brought us as creators into their fold and their mix as well. And I think that helps sort of bridge that gap a little bit and like ease that tension. But it's been a lot of smoke between.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. I mean, this is a form of news.
It is.
It is. That's the one. I think that's the one thing that I think that journalism does get frustrated by, because you are providing news and you're giving fact. And I think that
some of us, right? Because I think some of the issue, and not to cut you off, I apologize.
Oh, go ahead.
But like, even for myself, I had to switch up my content a little bit. But I will say that like, you'll see creators come out here and like, they not really giving the news as much as they read in the headline. They're not giving you an analysis or the background, right? For my content, for example, like, I'm giving you an analysis and background information, right? Now I'm gonna break it down to the smallest denominator so that you can have the conversation and kind of build from there. But at least you're getting some substance, some meat with the potatoes. Where you got a lot of creators out here who they not doing that. They get the little news on their app and they gonna read the headline, not even read the whole article to know what's going on for real. Yeah. And now they got 5 million views because they said 7 cuss words in the middle.
So that has always been my challenge for Black media, because a lot of times, and I say this again, I'm not gonna name any Black media sites because I named them the first couple times I talked about this, but a lot of times I say that Black media sometimes just copies what white media says and then puts it out there when there's a specific story to be told in the way that it's supposed to be told. And I think that's important. I say it all the time, like, yo, it's like, tell our story. Don't tell the story, tell our story. Because there's a perspective of everything that happens every day in this world that affects Black people in a different way that it affects everybody else. So to Black media, tell our story, don't tell the story. And I think that's extremely important. So if there's a lynching, right? Don't tell the story, tell our story about how that affects us. If someone loses their job at a newspaper or a media organization for speaking the truth, don't tell the story, tell our story, because there's a huge difference of the way that affects us and how it affects everybody else.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, you got to have both, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it's important for us to also tell our story, especially now more than ever, where they're trying to get rid of Black history and make Black issues not seem relevant and important. Like, we do need those voices in this space.
I mean, Trump ordered the takedown of what is it, the
slave
exhibits around the country. He wants them either covered up or removed. Everybody knows what's the name of the photo? You know the name of the photo.
Let me just,
I posted it. I talked about it the other day, but the photo of the man with the lashes across his back.
Will Smith played him in the
Will Smith played his character, but I think that's urgent because that is American history.
Yep.
I don't understand why America wants to hide the truth about what it is.
It's not America.
No, listen. What I mean, well, no, but America is who we elect in power. So at this point, the version of America that is in power is what America is. We are represented by who we elect, correct? So we're represented by the people that we elect. So if you don't like this America, that's why voting is important. That's why we can't have arguments about whether Kamala Harris is Black or not. Right. You understand? That's why we can't have arguments, these silly arguments over Dems and Republicans and all that kind of stuff. That's why we can't have those conversations, because whoever runs the government is what represents America globally. So when we're having these conversations, if you don't like the way America is right now, then we got to do something about it. And I hope that what's going on right now, even though we got like 3.5 years to go, I hope that, well, actually we have till midterms, but I hope that the next time that there is an election for president,
a special election in November in California.
There you go. And so I hope that every time now that there is an election, people remember these moments about how critical it is to get out there and vote and not sit back and just say, oh, voting doesn't matter because everybody's losing their jobs. Farmers are losing their farms. Right, all these people are losing their, the way that they make money because of these even white farmers. It was funny. I saw something that said, "This is now." I ain't trying to be funny, but sorry, farmers, but white farmers are now complaining that they thought that Black people were going to take the jobs that the immigrants took when they kicked them out of the country. Are we seeing like
they are going to find a way to make it our fault?
Correct.
Like, they said that before it happened.
We said we thought the Black people were coming to take the jobs of the Mexicans and the immigrants that were kicked out of the country. I'm like, we've come a little further than that. We've established ourselves in this country. Not to say that immigrant work is bad work, but fam, we're not going to digress. We're not going to, we're not going backwards. We're going forwards. We've been the president of the United States. We not going back, right? I think all the things that we have, the optimism that we have about what we do, is important. So no, I'm sorry to the farmers that thought that Black people were going to take those jobs, the jobs that Trump said were I guess those are now their Black jobs. So,
I'm gonna share a number with you that's kind of scary. Recently I followed this page that tracks Donald Trump's progression till he completes his term in office, and we were approximately about 16% done into Donald Trump's presidency. Think about it. We ain't even 1/4 there.
Oh my God.
Think about that.
Yeah, that hurt.
The longest 20 years.
Yeah. Oh my God.
November of my life.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Do you, given what's going on right now, this is just for both of y'all. Do you think it would have been better if he would have just won in 2020 and we'd be over it by now?
Yes. Yes. Like,
if we knew, if you knew it would be this, we would just let him rock out in 2020. What do you think?
He came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, right.
He returned like the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, I mean it was vengeance. I mean we knew that, right? Because we should have just put him in prison when we had the chance. I don't know why we were so scary.
Who's we though?
America. It was America, right? Under the president that we had more than enough opportunity to put that man in prison, and we didn't.
Between New York, Georgia, we Florida.
Fumbled in Georgia. I'm not gonna get on that because I don't want to have that conversation because then I'll go off. Because how you have him on the phone saying he need 11,000, however many votes he said
to Brian
Kemp, and we fumbled that.
And they just the Supreme Court just put, oh boy, what was it? It wasn't Venezuela. What was it? Another country, their president tried to do the same thing, and the Supreme Court just gave him 27 years in prison out there.
And Fani Willis just lost her appeal to get back on the Trump case. She actually tried to appeal to get back on the Trump case, but she lost it. You had your chance, but you were doing other things. Anyway. Look, man, that's what I'm saying, yo. Look, it's a phrase that I say all the time, and I repeat this to myself just as a human being and anybody Black doing anything. And this is not a judgment of what's going on with Fani or anything that happened with that situation. But I do say this: you cannot aspire for greatness and entertain mediocrity. You cannot do both. You cannot aspire for greatness but entertain mediocrity. And if you say that to yourself right before you about to do some stupid shit, I guarantee you say, you know what? I'm trying to be the president of the United States. I'm trying to build $1 billion business. I'm trying to change the world. I don't think I need to jeopardize that with whatever this relationship is, whatever this opportunity is, whatever this party is, whatever these things are. You don't do that. That's why I take my ass home. A lot of times people say, Ike, why don't you go nowhere? Because in what I'm trying to accomplish and my vision for Fanbase, it's mediocre. It's mediocrity. I'm not knocking it, but compared to what I put my energy into for the last 5 or 6 years, it's mediocrity. So when my friends say, hey man, Ike, come to us to the strip club. Bruh, I love Magic City. I've been before, but the Magic City premiere is not probably a place where I need to be because I'm thinking just on another level. I'm saying for me, and I'm not saying that that's mediocre. I'm saying compared to what I'm trying to accomplish, that is sometimes considered mediocrity. Because if something happens, it's like, oh, what was he doing at the strip club? You own Fanbase.
You supposed to be raising money.
You supposed to be raising money at Fanbase. Why you
was on stage?
Some situations aren't meant for everybody.
Like I hope he was on stage.
Yeah, like what are you doing there? And there's some places that I do go to have conversations and meet people because it's about making connections with content creators, celebrities, investors. I'll do things like that. But sometimes, no, I don't need to roll out to the. I don't need to go to the. I don't need to go to Follies. I know there's a new Follies in town, guys. There's a new Follies that opened, and we love Follies when it was on Bureau Highway, and there's a new one. Everybody's like, you going to the new Follies? Nah, because compared to what I'm doing, that's mediocre. And that's okay, and it's okay. But I mean, for people that want to go to the strip club, I love the strip club. I'm not knocking it, again, but we got bigger fish to fry over here as a community.
So with that being said, sir, I think this is a good time to plug in why we're here.
We are here with Invested to continue our conversation with A.B. Burns, but also to talk about the fact that you can invest in Fanbase right now. Again, we are in a crisis of ownership of tech infrastructure, especially the Black community. I say this as best as I can with as much passion as I can say it. We don't own any media platforms. When I see Don Lemon on YouTube, when I see Joy Reid on YouTube, when I see Roland Martin on YouTube, when I see writers getting fired from these organizations, that should be a signal that, we really don't own the platforms that we give this information to. And so we need ownership in those infrastructures. I've said many times that in the beginning, social media was a toy, and now it is a tool. It is the most powerful tool on earth to disseminate information. And so we don't own these things. You heard Tamisha was here last time, Tamisha Harris, shout out to Tamisha, saying that we are in a crisis and we need to own social media platforms. That's what she's talking about. So everybody right now watching this, take your behind to startengine.com/fanbase and invest right now. The minimum to invest is $399. What are you investing in? You're investing in Fanbase. So Fanbase is social media. It's my version of what social media is for the planet. It's not censored, free speech. We're not shadow banning. We're not limiting what sees your content. You have the ability to monetize if you want to from day one. People can tip you. We have 6 content formats: posts, stories, live, audio, long form, and short form video. It's really an opportunity for Black people, youth culture, and Black culture to own the infrastructure of a social media platform. Because when these things get to $200-300 billion, $400 billion, right? For real, like that's how much these platforms are worth. That's how much Instagram is worth. That's how much TikTok is worth. Meta's $1.9 trillion. And now we got this whole, again, this TikTok situation that's about to happen that we're going to hop into. But again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest right now. We must own the platforms that we use. And this is also a call to Black media. I had a conversation or I had a text message with somebody, and I'm not going to name that name of that person, but I was a little disappointed in what this person said. It was a Black media company. And I said, hey, you should take a equity position in Fanbase because, you know, you don't own any of these platforms that you're using. And they were like, well, this particular media company, we don't invest in platforms. We don't invest in platforms. And I'm like, okay, but you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok for free right now, and you could actually do that. And but I think that's the challenge that of cooperation that we have with Black media that we need to have to. We're going, like, again, truth be told, if we don't work together, it's a wrap. It's going to for this moment in history is going to force Black people to work together. And somebody's gonna have to help somebody that is not in the position that you're in to elevate to another position. Somebody's gonna have to take AB and elevate them above the position that they have. That's how this is going to work. So it can't be about who's the richest Black billionaire anymore. It can't be all about those things. It has to be about, all right, look, collectively, we have to elevate ourselves to the next level of positions because we got some real challenges going on.
I want to take that opportunity to briefly get into a different subject that we were talking about last week that recently came back up in my life, which is the unfortunate trend of seeing Black women in job loss.
Yeah.
Right. So, AB, I want to ask you your opinion on this, right? What do you think is driving this, and how does this connect to content creators like yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think a huge portion of it was when we saw the president issue those anti-DEI executive orders. We started seeing there was a lot of Black women in these positions where they were DEI, I guess, type positions, and so and a lot of Black women worked in the government, right? So when all those jobs got cut and people are getting kicked out, like unfortunately, Black women, we got hit the hardest. We are the most educated, right, in this country. We moving up, and they found a way to eliminate us. I think that as a creator, and as a Black woman, it's my responsibility not only to speak up about those issues and like make sure I'm informing people and letting them know like this is what's happening to us, because a lot of times if it's not in our direct right, our direct community of people, we don't think it's a real thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't think people are really affected. It's hard for us to see it. So I think as a creator, it's bringing those stories to life, so that we are aware and vigilant of what is happening to us as Black women. And we need some protection. We need some help.
Hey man, I agree 100% with you.
I saw something over the weekend. I'm not sure how much you guys keep up with more pop culture based news, but one of my favorite cast members from Saturday Night Live, her name is Ego. She is constantly playing most of the Black female characters on the show. So recently, she announced her departure from the show alongside a shakeup with other cast members from the show. But it'll be for the first time in years that SNL has a season without any Black women in it. So, yeah. Yeah. So very, very troubling. So my second question for this is, what protections do you believe should be implemented, not even in the real world, as well as the digital space, to protect Black women from this?
Yeah, just acknowledging that it's happened, I think, is a number one thing. I think when we ignore the issue or act like it's not a thing, or we don't we don't address it and highlight it, I think it's easy for it to fall to the wayside and make it seem like it's not important, and it doesn't get the energy that it needs, right? Like, so we need to treat it like a missing white woman. You feel me? I mean, that's just the reality, like, because these are real issues. And when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's always a Black woman. It's always a Black woman, right? To like pick up the pieces and get down in the trenches and fighting for everybody else. We put when during the women's suffrage march, that was white women journey. And they said, Black women, can you just get out the back of the line with us, please? We just need a little bit of help. And we anchored that. And we did that. And they made sure they was cool. And then we still had to come back and fight for ours and make sure we, as Black women, had those same rights, right? So it's always a Black woman when it comes down to building up other communities and supporting other communities to make sure they have equality, because if they have it, then we have it. If they don't have it, we don't get it.
Well, so then let me ask you this. So then talk to me as a Black man and tell me what I can do for you.
Yeah. Protect Black women. Love Black women, right? Have positive conversations of Black women, about Black women, right? Employ Black women, right? I'm not saying you don't in particular, right? But just like, those sound like simple asks, but I think like it just has to be said. It's just like on social media, right? Like, you got to train your audience, right? The hypes are very well trained. They know what's up. That's how we know if it's new ones or old ones. They're very well trained. They know how to act. But I train them by telling them my expectations and what I need from them and how they need to behave over here on this platform, right? I train them. Sometimes you got to be like, I need you to like this, right? And that seems simple, because I'm sure it's people who watch me all day long and love me and they don't like, not because they don't like the content, they just, it don't come to the forefront to do it, right? So I think that's the same thing as me saying as simple as hire Black women, right? It may seem obvious, but it may not be obvious to all. And having those conversations with other Black men, we are not the enemy, right? We're not, like, we stronger together than we are apart. And when it comes down to it, when you need somebody to hold you down and ride for you, no matter what, through thick and thin, a Black woman gonna be the one to hold you down, baby.
Ride or die.
Ride or die. So ride or die for us.
Got it. I'm glad you said that.
You want to introduce the next topic?
Ooh, this is tough. So
this is a big one.
All right. So if all things go as planned, Larry Ellison, the founder, owner of Oracle, and his son, David Ellison, who owns Skydance Paramount now, will also acquire Warner Brothers and potentially TikTok. And so I don't know if people know how crazy that sounds and how crazy that is.
That has to create a monopoly.
But I think that since Trump has been in office, they've wiped all that stuff out. It doesn't matter. Like, that's not even an issue anymore. So let me read you again what Paramount is. I'm gonna read you what everything is, and then who's gonna own it. So Paramount, Skydance already owns CBS, MTV, BET, Nickelodeon, Paramount Pictures, Pluto TV, and more. With Warner Brothers, they would also add HBO, CNN, DC Studios, the Discovery Channel, HGTV, TNT, Cartoon Network, and more. Plus, TikTok is the most powerful short-form video app in the country with a full data and algorithm control. And then Oracle already manages TikTok's data already. So that's why they were trying to acquire the company, because they already manage their data. So that's a huge issue, because now, and it's not quiet, but everybody knows that Larry is a Trump supporter. He's a Trump fan. So now you have a Trump supporter acquiring or maybe potentially having ownership of all these assets that decide how you see your media. So once again, when I say why is it important that we have to start owning media, like why Fanbase needs to be, why we need to close this round, raise this money, and continue to scale the company, because if they got CNN and TikTok and CBS, they got BET. They got BET.
That's a
wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
That's, part of how we got here and to begin with is, did you know Warner Brothers Discovery is $38 billion in debt, which is crazy. How you even get that far?
You know what? But here's the problem. Well, here's the truth. Again, I think Hollywood has underestimated technology once again. Like the entertainment, every time the entertainment industry underestimates technology, you get your ass whooped. So when the music industry underestimated Steve Jobs and his little iPod, y'all got your ass whipped. When the music industry underestimated Napster and their MP3s, y'all got your ass whipped. When the entertainment industry underestimated YouTube and their little video sharing platform, now you getting your ass whooped, right? And when media sites and media organizations underestimated platforms like Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, you're getting your ass whooped. And that's the point. And so that is why all this is shifting towards infrastructure ownership of social media. All these things, again, listen, call me, remember I said this, all media is going to go through large social networks that are based in community. That is how we're consuming our content now. So don't think that your television is not going to come, your TV shows are not going to come through a fan base. That your news is not going to come through a fan base, that your podcast is not going to come through a fan base, that your music is not going to come through a fan base, and all these things, because this is where community is. We're all connected 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then we can do different things with the media than just watch it. We can clip it. We can share it. We can talk about it. We can have chat rooms about it and audio rooms about it. We can post it and watch parties. We can have so many different forms of communication with the type of content we use. And so that's why this is serious, because that's why media, Warner Brothers, getting their ass whooped.
Dude, you know what's crazy about that? First, short form, did you know short form short form video is the most watched content format in the world?
Yes.
And what makes that crazy also is CBS, Paramount, they cited the change to digital platforms as the reason why they canceled Stephen Colbert show.
I don't believe that, though.
I don't believe it either. Like, that definitely was political, but still the fact that they could use that as a valid reason shows the power of what you're speaking of.
Here's the opportunity that I say to all those creators and all those actors. And we saw Tay Diggs talking about how content creators are getting roles in acting. If you're not prepared, like AB said, like she's the writer, the director, the producer, the star, the editor. Like that's what you're dealing with. So I understand. I think the problem that Hollywood is having is these young kids, they ain't worried about craft services and a trailer and car service. And I understand that. When you're from old Hollywood, you love the craft services, you love all that. But these kids, like I'm that person. We all know that Andy in here creates his content. Andy be editing all this stuff, but I do my own edits. When y'all see these posts of me on social media and the captions and all that kind of stuff, a lot of that stuff is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing this stuff and creating it. So that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a new era. So what that means though is to the journalists, so to the Don Lemons and the Joy Reids, you have the ability to be bigger than CNN, than MSNBC. So when they let you go, they actually just gave you freedom to be global, not held down by what the network says you can and cannot say. That's the freedom that comes with media ownership, why it's important. Because I watched Don Lemon the other day. Don Lemon be cussing on his shit now.
He having so much fun.
He having fun.
I love that for Don.
He is unchained now.
So much fun.
The lemon is loose.
Okay.
You know
and I love it.
Yeah.
Squeeze it, Don.
the lemon is on the loose. He going crazy. But that's the freedom that they have. And it's an adjustment. But the one person that I want to give the flowers to right now is Roland Martin.
Ooh, okay.
And all you guys, all you journalists that made fun of Roland for leaving major network media and going to YouTube and creating his own thing with the Black Star Network, and Roland Martin Unfiltered who made fun of him. Now look. Now look at y'all. Now y'all like, I'm trying to be like Roland.
Yep.
Roland owns his content. He owns his network. He owns his studio. He knows how to produce all this content. Roland Martin is the biggest supporter of Fanbase there is, right? Thank you to Roland Martin. This show airs on Roland Martin's YouTube channel. There's tons of other media platforms out there. You know what I'm saying? This show airs on Roland Martin's media channel. You know what happens when I post a piece of content? Guess what Roland does? He says, hey, send me that so I can do it as a collaboration.
Period.
He makes sure that this content is elevated.
Yeah.
We have to start doing that. Shout out to Claudia Jordan, who's been taking my content on collaboration. Shout out to DL Hughley, who's been taking my content on collaboration. Shout out to Jamal Bryant, who's been taking my content on collaboration, help elevating these stories. That's what working together looks like. We are free to elevate each other and build at scale. But again, infrastructure, the ownership of the platform and the media, that's the part that we're all missing. Because matter of fact, I saw Morgan DeBond say this. Morgan DeBond said this yesterday. She was saying if I was a Democratic strategist, I would pay the Amanda Seals and the Roland Martins and all these people. I would pay these creators the same way that the right or the Republicans are doing and do so. And my response to Morgan is that true, but they're also going to need infrastructure. We're going to need platforms. Elon bought X, right? Like I said, Ellison and them they're trying to buy TikTok. Trump has Truth Social. We need infrastructure. The voices matter, but the infrastructure is what matters as well. Yep. Let me ask you a question. Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about them owning all those properties? Potentially.
That's scary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you already, as creators, and especially as a creator who is categorized in a more progressive space, right? We already go through the issue of like our content not getting pushed out during certain times and like, getting shadow banned and things like that, or you can't say certain stuff. So I think it makes it even scarier in a land where it's supposed to be free speech, right?
It ain't free lately.
Honey, it's expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. And the price you gotta pay.
You might get arrested for free speech.
Honey, and might.
You might get deported.
Might.
That was crazy. They said they deport. Yo, when they said that anybody that talks greasy about certain things, they're getting deported. That's crazy.
Insane. And people losing their we're not going to put any more.
No, we're not going to put any more spice on that. But
I want to hit you with a question, both of y'all, a question in return. You were speaking about the ownership and the visibility, right? I'm interested in, right, with this potential acquisition of TikTok, there's a reported algorithm update coming. How is, knowing that this acquisition could potentially happen, what do you think that'll do to the content that's pushed and to viewers?
So I've seen a couple articles about the quote unquote, it's called the M2 algorithm update. Apparently it was supposed to take place like Sunday night, Monday morning. But basically they're saying that the new algorithm for those on TikTok is going to scan all the content, and if it does not align, it has political content will be removed from the platform. But also this algorithm will go back and all the way through all of your content, and then they will give you strikes on your account. If you get more than 3 strikes, they'll delete your account. So it's kind of like the way to purge everybody that's talking about these things that are extremely important. Now this is something that I did not know. But I can't remember who's that. There's somebody that's over the algorithm at TikTok. I can't remember.
I just want to say though, but if you purge that type of content, you're also going to purge those users.
Well, I mean, but again, I don't think people are going to be real happy with this new version of TikTok anyway.
I mean, a lot of people haven't been happy with TikTok since the initial shutdown.
So let me ask you this question though, because I'm a tech founder. I built a social media platform. Why do you think we stay on platforms that don't acknowledge us? Just as a content creator, but even also as Black people, when we really help elevate these platforms, why do you think we stay on these platforms where they don't honor us?
I mean, are we looking at it from that lens, right? I think that like there's understanding. That's just like, why do we stay in this country and we know not these people hate us?
No,
right?
but I say the same thing. We built this country and we built these platforms.
And we do, yeah. So
and
that's
we built
the thing,
these platforms.
right? We've invested in it.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have stake in it at the end of the day, be it maybe not financial stake, right? But we have stake in it. And then I think also too, like for me, again, it's an outlet to the people that I connect with. It's my connection source.
It's your community.
It is my community, right? Like, and I have built a community and I care about the community that I've built there. And I've also built friendships and long-term relationships. And I've also built, opportunities that I don't know that I would have had, but for the social media platforms that I use. So I think sometimes, you just gotta take the broccoli with the ice cream. You know what I mean? Like it may not feel the best when we know that we're not getting treated equally and fairly, but that doesn't mean that we don't stop pushing for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then also I find it hard for me to leave my community. Because even when TikTok got shut down the first time, like that was a sad moment, right? You know, like I got my start on TikTok for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have a very sentimental place for it. But also like just realizing the number of people who tell me regularly when I see them in public and things like that, like, I get my news from you. I wouldn't know anything about politics. I wasn't involved, you know, I didn't care about politics before you. I love you. They could tell me my content bar for bar, right? Like, so it's more about those people for me personally than like the overall structure of, you know, the tech company.
At what point do creators make that change when the platform becomes an adversary as opposed to an ally? Because unfortunately, these platforms first came out, they were just tools for you to get your message across. But now, if they're weaponized against you, if you're getting strikes for talking about that, at what point does that become an issue? Because for me, in building Fanbase, the job is to always to understand that we can make anything hot. I always say if creators are hot as they think they are, if we say we the shit, then prove it.
Yeah.
Pull your ass up. I always say, if we hot, we can make anything hot. We could go to Fanbase and make that hot in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Understand?
Challenge accepted.
Okay, listen.
And I'm finna invest today.
Boom.
Before I leave.
Stop playing with it.
Before I leave.
But again, I think I really do believe that if you know, if Black community says we're as hot as we say that we are, and we can make anything hot. But at what point does Facebook become the evil empire? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So on the one hand, right, like I think there's a lot to unpack there, right? Especially as for myself, like my full-time job is content creation. So for example, like if an organization is asking me, I need a TikTok video or I need an Instagram video, right? I'm gonna pay you this much money.
Yeah.
This is a topic, right? Like that's how I feed my baby.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be over there.
Well,
but think about X though.
Yeah.
Right? So when X got dirty and ugly and people was making money over there too, people dipped because they was like,
yeah,
this ain't the place for me.
Yeah, it's unrecognizable now.
Right? But those same brands that probably were paying people on Twitter, right? Paying creators to post on Twitter, they not gonna make no money over there no more. They're gonna have to shift to whatever the new infrastructure is. So I think it's like so that's why I say like it's a lot to unpack, but I think it's like understanding my value as a creator and being like, I'm not gonna be over there, but then also recognizing that like I'm trying to feed my baby. That's how I pay my student loans off.
I want to give an alternate answer and hear your thoughts on it. I think it's also for Black creators, it's about finding validation in the things that we do not create. We value, you say it all the time, we value things that were not necessarily created for us or by us.
Well, that's what I call the velvet rope strategy. So it's like, I mean, here, this is real story. This is what I understand about us. It's true story. White nightclub. On a white night, there is no cover charge, right? The dance floor is open, right? The drinks are cheaper. On a Black night, there is no dance floor. There's sections. It's a line. You got to pay $100 to park, and the drinks are 3 times as much, and we still pay for it. Same furniture, same couch, same couch, same pleather ass couch that people stand on. But this time you putting a velvet rope in front of it, and you paying $4,000 for a section. I've never paid for a section. I have never paid for a section and never will, because I'm not going to pay money for the same furniture that somebody else get to sit on for free. I'm sorry. For those of you that pay for sections, are you hiding your head? You don't pay for a section. Come on, AB. You don't pay for a section.
I didn't been in a section at 3.
Oh, that's fine.
4 or 5.
You can be in the section. Being in the section is no, hold on. Being in the section is one thing, but paying for the section is a whole nother animal. That's a whole nother beast. You don't even buy a section or 2. You don't pay for the 3. You don't pay for the $400 Hennessy that's $50 at the corner store.
Is you pocket watching?
No, I'm not
Where's Taylor?
No, I'm just saying that Black culture, like we have all this money.
That's true.
And we want to show people that we have money, and we're willing to spend money with people that don't value us just to show other people that we have money. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I said we have to start redirecting our energy into infrastructures that we own. So I want to find a black EV maker, right? And we can buy those cars. I want there to be a black. I want there to be a black on airline. If people don't trust black pilots, see that would be me. Like that's why I say it couldn't. I couldn't be a multi-billionaire. Somebody would have said that to me, and I would have started a black airline. I would have got Spirit Airlines the next day. Like, okay, it's Soul Plane now. That's what we own Soul Plane.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? We own Atlanta Air.
Period.
There was actually an airline called Atlanta Air. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
The only Google it. The only black-owned airline that ever existed was called Atlanta Air, right here out of Atlanta, Georgia. Bet y'all didn't know that. Again, Atlanta do. I'm saying anything that you can do in New York and LA, black people can do the same thing.
It's called Air Atlanta.
Air Atlanta. Okay, it's Air Atlanta. Right. It was in the 80s, and something happened where they didn't get the funding that they needed, but they were trying to do it. But yeah, Atlanta. There was a black-owned airline. We gangster for that. If you read about it, Noah, tell us about Atlanta Air, because I know this is gonna be a segment when you figure it out.
Okay, so this is the opening to the article that was done by the Atlanta History Center. Yeah. Air Atlanta was an anomaly in the airline industry. It was a low-cost carrier that ferried passengers in its distinctive gray, blue, and burgundy Boeing 727s to major destinations such as Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and Washington. Then when there were less than 32,000 black-owned businesses in the country.
Bruh, I'm telling y'all, it's a
32. I'm sorry, 3,200,000.
I mean 3,200.
Yeah, you're right. I was right the first
time.
Yeah,
you're right.
Wait a minute.
But yo, that's crazy. The power, like that's shout out Atlanta Air.
Okay.
Was it Air Atlanta or Atlanta Air?
Air Atlanta.
Air Atlanta. The logo was dope too, like an A, and it was like burgundy and stuff. It was fly. It was powerful.
Oh no, this is fly, Andy. You gotta include this in the edit, just the pictures of this.
The pictures of Air Atlanta. All right. Crazy. Well, before we go, I want to definitely mention thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm fresh off the airplane too, y'all. Yeah. I ain't had no sleep.
I know. I told her, I was like, take a nap. From LA, I was like, take a nap before you come. But thank you for pulling up, because I'm a fan. I wanted you here. I'm glad you came by. For those of y'all, tell everybody where they can find you, especially on Fanbase.
Yes. So all of my social media handles are I am legally hype. So I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Fanbase.
There you go.
How did I meet over there?
I'm here. When you said that that's how you feed your family. The one thing that I want to the quiet part out loud is that subscriptions are the future. Even the brand deals, that is not a way for you to guarantee your income.
That's true.
Right? Month over month recurring revenue is the path that every creator on social media should be taking. What I do see with a lot of people that create content is they're getting on Substack.
Yeah.
They're writing on Substack. Or for people that create video content and in social media, that needs to be the thing. And so I'm telling you, like, that's why I say if it seems scary to charge people, but you can also be free. Like I say, Fanbase is free to download, free to use, but you can also create conversations that people want to support, because you have a fan base. You have a fan base that wants to see you win, that wants to see your baby eat well, that wants to see you continue to grow as a creator. And that's the importance of understanding like the power of subscriptions and tipping and all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to have you. Glad to have.
Great interview. It was really good.
Looks like it stopped. Let me remove it.
Oh, I thought you did that.
No, I didn't. It just went. Maybe that's all they had. Yeah, it's. Wait a minute. Maybe. Can you hear it now?
No, I can't. You might need to refresh. I can't hear nothing.
Yeah, he did his ending speech about investing, so it's pretty much all over. But yeah, I love that. It was really interesting. Hey, Richard, I just want to welcome you. these videos get lengthy, and I'm usually talking in the chat, so I did see your comment. You may be at work, you may be busy, so I understand we be busy, but we just did this live stream. I mentioned something in the chat, Richard. If you were free to come off the mic, if you still here, if you can introduce yourself, this is for you. This definitely is a space for new users. It looks like you may be new or maybe you're returning. Are you able to kind of answer some of the questions I outlined in the chat? Richard? Hello. Maybe you have to allow your mic if you're really new. You may have to, if you have an iPhone, you may have to allow your mic so that you're able to speak. I see that you're off. Maybe come back in. Do y'all still see Richard on the screen? I still see him. I
I see
refresh.
him.
Might
Yeah, I
have.
see him.
Hey,
Well,
Doug.
his mic was working. I was in a room with an audio room last night or early this morning, and it was fine.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right. Well, in that
but he
case,
may
I'm going
need
to
to
go
swipe
ahead and,
out.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the live. I'm going to break this up. This was a really great conversation. I loved it. I didn't get to see it Tuesday when they aired it. So it's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and end it now. But thank you guys for being a part of it. Let me go ahead and end.
Oh, he says he's driving.